Hello and welcome back to Sweet Nothings Crochet's videos. Today we're going to look at this beautiful shelled pattern that I have done in a dress that I have called Chandu's Shelled Baby Dress 2. You'll find the link for that pattern in the bio below. This pattern is made with a row of post stitches, the front post double crochet stitch and double crochet stitches that I worked in a shell pattern. I have done this just as a swatch to show you in one, but in the actual pattern you work in a round. Now this is not obviously as big as your pattern is going to be. It is going to be the round waist of your child, but I'm just going to show you the pattern with a small number of stitches. The pattern is worked over a stitch count of multiples of 6. So I have just taken 24 stitches here to work on our pattern. Alright, you will work as many stitches as you require for the round waist of the child that you're making it for. So this will be the round waist of the child. You would have worked the top part of the dress there, and then you come back to that first row, which will be the foundation single crochet row, and then we work the lower part of the dress with that. So to start, you have to work one row of double crochet all the way around with no increase, and then you're going to be working your front post stitches and your shell pattern on that double crochet row. To start, we work a front post double crochet over the first stitch. So that's the front post double crochet, yarn over, around the post of the first double crochet, draw through, and then you work your front post double crochet. There are videos on how to work the front post double crochet in my full set of YouTube videos. Please go and check that out first. Now you skip the next 2 stitches and you work 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, all in the same stitch. And this forms your shell. You opened out stitch. You skip the next, so this is where you work the stitch. You skip the next 2 double crochet, and then you work a front post double crochet or an FPDC around the next stitch. Skip the next 2 stitches and you'll work 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, all in that same stitch. Skip the next 2 stitches and work a front post double crochet over the next stitch. Skip the next 2 stitches and 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in the next stitch. And this is what the pattern that you'll do all the way around. We're skipping the next 2, front post over that, so it's yarn over, go around the post, draw the yarn through and work the front post stitch. Skip the next 2 stitches, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in that next stitch till you've come to the last stitch there. You're skipping the last 2 stitches and you'll join to that first stitch with a slip stitch. So through the top of the stitch, draw your yarn through, pull through, and you finish the first round. Now if you just look at this little thing, you'll already see this, it's already going out just very, very lightly. Round 2, you will slip stitch till you come to that point. So you'll slip stitch past the first 3 stitches. And then you work 2 double crochet in that first chain space. It's a chain 2 space. Chain 2, 2 double crochet, now the beauty of this line row and from this row onwards is You'll just be using this chain space and you'll be using the front post stitch, nothing else, not very much to think about. You'll be working a front post double crochet over that, around that first row of stitches, and then you'll be working your shell stitch, which is 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in that chain 2 space. Alright, so you're going to get this row of post stitches coming up, and you'll get this row of shells that will follow one after another. You just skip everything, front post around the front post stitch, shell in the shell stitch. Shell is 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. And this is what you do all the way around till you come to that last stitch. So go ahead and finish off your round while I finish off this bit of swatch. Remember to pause the video while you're working and come back and resume. So you come to that last stitch, skip the last 2 stitches, and you work a post stitch around that post stitch, and then join to that first double crochet with a slip stitch through and pull through. Now rows 2 to 6 is the same pattern. You'll skip past these 2 stitches, go into that chain space, work the shell stitch, which is 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and then work a front post stitch around the front post stitch. The change then comes in row 7. In row 7, it says work a double crochet in the first 2 double crochet, so that's these 2 stitches, and then you work 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in the chain space. So just like that, we've increased it by 2, and then you work. We've increased the size of your fan. We've not increased any stitches yet. And front post stitch in the front post stitch. Double crochet in the first 2 stitches and a shell stitch in the chain 2 space. Chain 2, 2 double crochet, double crochet in the next 2 double crochet, and a front post stitch in the earlier front post stitch. So that slightly thinner shell has now become a wider shell. And this is what you do all the way around. Double crochet in the first 2 double crochet of the earlier shell stitch, work the new shell stitch, which is 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, double crochet in the next 2 double crochet, front post stitch around the front post stitch. Isn't it beautiful? And we've got just one last to do, finishing off this shell stitch here. And then double crochet in the next 2 stitches, work around the last front post and join. So this was round 7. Let's look at what round 8 has. So in round 8, you skip past the first 2 stitches, and then you work double crochet in both of those stitches. Please check how I work my chainless starts for the double crochet stitches, and then you work your shell stitch in the shell stitch space, chain 2, 2 double crochet in that chain space, and then double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So now this shell and that shell are the same number of stitches. Okay, you got 4 there, and then the chain 2 and then 4, exactly the same. Post stitch around the post stitch, skip the first 2, skip the first 2 stitches and work double crochet in the next 2 double crochet, 2 stitches in the chain space, chain 2, 2 more stitches in the chain space, and then over the next 2 double crochet you work 1 double crochet each. So there are 4, chain 2, 4. Skip the next 2 here, front post around the front post, skip the next 2 stitches, and then you work a double crochet in those last 2 double crochet, your shell stitch in the shell, that's 2 double crochet, I'm sure you know this by now, chain 2, 2 more double crochet, double crochet in those 2 double crochet, so 4, chain 2, 4, just keep that in mind and you're good. Skip the next 2 stitches, front post, and this is what you do all the way around till you reach that last front post stitch to complete round 8. Chain 2 and you work it all the way around. Now this is the pattern that you'll then work all the way till the end, till the length that you have for the child's dress, right? See, it's gone out, flaring out already. Now just for kicks, I have given you another round where you can, it's an optional round where you can just increase. I haven't done it in my dress, but I have suggested that if you want it to be a slightly wider round, then you work 1 double crochet in all of these stitches, and then you work your shell stitch there and you work 1 double crochet in all of those 4 stitches again. You'll just get a much wider shell stitch, and that will work for slightly older children. You could also skip just that first stitch, work a double crochet in these 3 stitches, work the shell there, work double crochet in the next 3. Just remember, whatever you do on this side, you have to repeat on this side and then repeat all the way around. This is the stitch basically for I've made this for a 4 or 5-year-old child, and just working this much of a shell worked for getting the length. And then I worked all the way till the end till I reached the border. And for the border, I worked the shell stitch with a picot. Okay, so let me just double check what I did for the border. Optional round, last round, right. So once again, you slip past the first 2 stitches, work a double crochet. Like I said, I work my chainless double crochet in a slightly different way, so please check my earlier videos. You work in the first 2 stitches to work the shell, first 2 DC here, and then instead of the chain, we work a picot, 1, 2, 3 through the base of that first stitch, grab the yarn, slip stitch it through, and your picot done. 2 double crochet to complete that shell stitch, and then double crochet in the next 2 stitches. And that's your cute little border shell stitch done, tongue twister. Skip the next 2 stitches, front post stitch around the front post stitch, skip the next 2 stitches, double crochet in the next 2 stitches, the shell stitch with the picot, so that's 2 DC, chain 3, go to the base of the stitch, pull it through, wrap it up, picot done, and then 2 more double crochet to finish off that shell stitch, and a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. And you go all around, you'll be working the front post stitch around the front post stitch, skipping these 2 stitches, working your shell there, and you work it all around till you're finished. And then you'll get a border that's got that cute little picot at the end. And this is, in short, that's how simple the pattern is for the shelled baby dress 2. The pattern full link is in the bio below. Do make this dress and let me know how it goes. Looking forward to hearing from all of you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.